What popular rumor in your school turned out to be true?
There was a family in my town that fostered to adopted all their kids. Everyone had known one of their daughters since she was quite young, and then they adopted another girl her age when we were in 8th grade. They did not get along. When the original girl developed epilepsy a few years later, her new sister claimed she was faking and everyone thought she was so fucking mean and ostracized her. Eventually, she had to fess up to faking the seizures all along when she signed up for basic training, which she never even completed. Unfortunately, this was after we all graduated, so we never got to apologize to her sister, Uneasy Face.
Our science teacher was having an affair with our science technician and regularly left the class to have sex with her in the technician's room. That rumor started day 1, then 4 years, 2 divorces, and 2 very quick departures later it was confirmed, and what was left behind was a technician's daughter in my year whose life had fallen apart.
In high school, the biology teacher was growing weed in the environmental lab. Supposedly he did it for 30 years without anyone noticing. No one could ever prove it though. Later on, I was assigned to be the agent taking care of some of his financial matters, so I went to his house to have him sign some paperwork. He had a hydroponic setup there, so I asked him about the environmental lab. It was like Han Solo in The Force Awakens. It's true. All of it. Then he offered me a brownie.
Did you accept it?
Doing weed with him? Hell yes. I had to see what 30 years of weed growing expertise got him. And it's the one experience in my life that I brag to all my friends about. I did weed with Dr. Redacted. It was delicious and I got really, really high, and he told me some stories about my aunt that I'd just as soon forget. She was one of his favorites. He was never inappropriate with her, but she was a total hippie and his best customer.
That a 12-year-old 6th grader had gotten pregnant over summer break. Our Los Angeles County suburb, it was a small and far separated from LA itself, see how large the county actually is on Google if you are unawares, was so scandalized by this rumor that a newspaper article came out with a cartoon drawing of a pregnant girl in a pretty little girl dress and ribbon in her hair, playing with dolls and kneeling next to a dollhouse, accompanied the story about the little girl who got pregnant and planned to keep the baby. She was interviewed. I remember her name, but it's unnecessary, the whole damn town knew who it was. What's wild is that the kids in junior high actually had a baby shower for this 7th grader as she got close to full term, and all brought in packs of diapers and formula for her on a designated day. With the teachers, principal, and probably the school district in support of this. The year was 1984 to 1985.
That one of the students was actually a cop. Turns out he was a cop and busted one of the actual students for selling handguns in school. If you thought 21 Jump Street was unrealistic, think again. Cop was a 33-year-old male and undercover for like half the semester.
You're a narc. No, I'm not. You're still wearing your badge. I am? Yep, you're a narc.
Mr. and Mrs. Dickoff, teachers, had a daughter named Tara. It's true.
That one of the seniors in my school wrote all over the men's bathroom about bringing a bomb to school. The bomb squad evacuated us all, dogs came and they found one in a random locker. It was absolutely nuts. Kid got arrested 2 seats next to me in English class a couple of days later once they could prove he did it.
There was always a rumor that the head janitor was a huge pothead and would smoke with students in one of the storage sheds away from the main building. I always figured it was bullshit until my friend CJ sent me a pic of him and the janitor smoking weed while surrounded by folding chairs.
In my Catholic, Jesuit, high school, one of the priests and one of the nuns were very close friends. We all loved them, and we could see that they were quite fond of one another, and they made a really nice-looking couple. We used to affectionately kid them about meeting in the tunnel between the convent and the rectory. A few years after my class graduated, they both left their orders, got married, and had kids. We're all happy for them.
That's actually really sweet.
We had a dean who retired one summer. Turns out, he was busted in a huge prostitution/drug sting by cops. He had 2 prostitutes and cocaine in his apartment when he got rolled up, ended up pleading guilty to felony drug possession, a few others I can't remember, and sentenced to 5 years of probation. He was an advisor for the school's drug/alcohol task force. Nice enough guy. Really cool with all of his students, maybe too cool. Always seemed to have super red eyes.